Because Eli, the backslidden, the insensitive, the one that accused Hannah of being drunk, released the prophetic word. She went back that year, she conceived.
Amen.
Are you listening? You're very quiet. Now, not only Hannah conceived, she bare forth Samuel. And now Samuel is in the temple staying with the same bishop that you don't like, with the same pastor that you don't like, the same home cell leader that you don't like, the same teacher or whatever you don't like. Now Eli is going to train Samuel. Look, not only affects you, it affects your next generation. Now, watch. Do you know God blessed Hannah through Eli? The authority God has put above Hannah and Samuel. How did God bless them? Eli gave a key to Samuel that changed his prophetic ministry forever, of hearing God's voice. Remember, young Samuel was in the temple, and he was lying down. He heard Samuel, Samuel, and he ran to Eli. Remember the story of 173? The voice of God sounds like the voice of man. That's how Samuel mistook it as Eli and ran to Eli. 3 times he heard the voice. He ran to Samuel. Suddenly he clicked on Eli. Maybe God is speaking. So he told Samuel, pray this prayer. Speak, Lord, your servant heareth. Are you there? And that began, launched forth, released Samuel ministry as a prophet to the nation. Now, every one of us here owe something to our spiritual leader. Even though they are backslidden, even though they are wrong. But that's not our concern, because they are God's property, they are God's servant. God will deal with them. But our side is how we respond or react will determine our breakthrough or no breakthrough. Are you there? So, after Eli released the prophetic word, Hannah conceived. Let me share a few examples, and you all can identify. Yesterday I had a privilege to meet a man of God that I had met when he was a young boy in Bangalore many years ago. And he heard about my ministry, and through a common friend we were connected. And was spending about an hour or so just sharing his heart and my heart, his heart and our heart together. Now this is something very beautiful. I don't know why he shared this, but I believe he had a purpose of sharing this. Now he is a young boy in Bangalore, at a church, a mega church. And when I met him that time, the thing I remember about him was this young boy had such a hunger for God, and he has a call of God upon his life. He was a teenager then. And now he's pastoring a very big church in Canada. He had 19 churches under him. He's only 31 years old. He had Benny Hinn came to his church. He didn't invite Benny Hinn. Benny Hinn invited himself. He didn't pay a cent. After Benny Hinn left, Benny Hinn gave him an offering. I mean, this is outstanding. And he's only 31 years old. Are you there? He had 19 churches under him. He's pastoring a church in Montreal, 7 hours from Vancouver. Now he said something to me that I said, thank you for illustration for tonight's message. Listen to this carefully. When he was serving in a mega church, he had a spiritual father, a pastor whom he loved and respect. One day he got married. And he had a wedding ring. The church he comes to did not believe in jewelry. No jewelry, no earring, no wedding ring. So he put on his wedding ring. He was stepped down, he was suspended from all ministry, he was excommunicated. One year, he felt he should stay back in the church. He loves the pastor so much, but it was so hurt, so broken, so crushed. What was his crime? Wearing a wedding ring. What was his sin? Wearing a wedding ring. That is not allowed in the church. Now, don't judge his pastor. I preached in that church before. It's a mega church, more than 10,000 members. So sad. A pastor of more than 10,000 church members will not allow a wedding ring of his spiritual son, a potential man of God that God is going to use in the days ahead. Could have been crushed, backslidden, leave the church and hate church, hate pastor the rest of his life. Are you there? But he responded well, like Hannah did. He responded well. He submitted to the discipline, the suspension, whatever, for 1 year. Sat down, do nothing. After that 1 year, God supernaturally opened the door. He was invited to go to Canada, Montreal, as a youth pastor. There were many pastors in this big church, and all the pastors left. He was the only pastor left, so they made him the senior pastor. And then the church began to grow and prosper. Today he has a successful ministry, has been to 93 cities around the world. Used powerfully. Now, what was his breakthrough? His breakthrough was he submit to the spiritual authority, even though what they did may not seem right. Because God flows through authority figure, whether we like it or not. In Psalms 133, it says, the blessings of God flow from Aaron's beard. Did you read that? Psalms 133. Well, it goes to spiritual authority. You don't like a spiritual authority, you have a problem, because it's going to block your breakthrough and your blessing. If Hannah left with hurts and offense, if this young boy, this Indian pastor left with hurts and unforgiveness, God will not use him. He will be still just an ordinary person. Let me share with you my personal experience. Probably you've heard this before. I was in a big church. I was a student in University Malaya. I was attending a big church in Kuala Lumpur. Then I graduated, I became a lecturer. I loved that church so much. There was a move of God. And one day I gave a prophecy about the leadership of the church. And one prophecy was positive, the other prophecy was more of warning, correction. I was told I was a false prophet. I was to step down from every ministry. I was getting all mission, prayer, and so many things at church for 1 year. And then they started a teaching course in the home fellowship, how to recognize false prophet, and how to sit in and listen. Isn't that exciting? Now you can read it in my book on prophetic encounter. I share quite a detail about that incident. Now I tell you what, I was tempted to leave. My flesh wanted to leave the church. Now I tell myself, I pay my own petrol, I drive, I pay tithes, I go to church, I contribute my time, my energy, my money, and I get this in return. I don't know what wrong I did. At least have the courtesy to explain to me what wrong, which prophecy went wrong, and why I was disciplined. Nothing. I was sidelined, and when I come to church, people look at me like I'm the greatest criminal on earth. People avoided me. They call me a false prophet. Isn't that wonderful? God was testing my response for breakthrough to the next level. If I was bitter, if I didn't forgive the leadership, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today. You know, I forgave the leadership after 1 year. God, I submitted to their discipline. I could have fought. And the elder who did this was a lawyer profession. He should know better, right? Somebody is innocent until proven guilty. It's amazing. All his learning goes down the drain. Anyway, Doesn't matter. Like Eli, right? Misjudged, accused you for something that you didn't do wrong. Anyway, come back to the story. I submitted to the discipline. After 1 year, God opened the door. I went to Australia to Bible school. I got a blessing from them. Now, okay, this is what I want to say. If you want to leave a church, always leave with a blessing. Now, I know there are circumstances in our lives, sometimes it's very hard. I understand. I got through the last 37 years in the Church of Jesus Christ. I've seen the best, I've seen the worst. Believe me, I've seen the worst of the worst. But one thing, God is interested in our attitude, our character, and our response. I tell my son many times, you cannot prevent the bird from flying over your head. What people will say and do is beyond your control because it's not you. But you can prevent the bird from laying your nest on your head. That means you can choose to forgive and move on. Or to bear the grudge, walk out of the church, never receive the blessing and the breakthrough. Do you know, some years past, they invited me back to the same church in Kuala Lumpur. They asked me to teach on prayer and prophetic. Isn't that exciting? So I went back, I preached a few times, did a prophetic seminar there. They buy my books, my CDs. Many came for my conference. Why would God open that door for me to go back to the same church that I was disciplined and suspended, called a false prophet? And many years down the track, they invite me to teach on prophecy. Hallelujah. I'm not saying the leader is right or wrong. I'm saying you as a Hannah, you as a young boy with a call of God, me as a young man coming up in the ministry, how do we submit and respond will determine your next level of breakthrough. Amen. I know tonight there are many of you are hurt by leadership. I was doing gardening when God quickened the passage and told me that people who are coming for this conference, many have been hurt by church leadership. And because you do not know how to respond correctly like Hannah, that you have missed your breakthrough and your blessing. But tonight, you have come to the right place. And you're going to make what is wrong right. Forgive, move on, make it right. And as you walk out of this hall tonight, you're going to experience the breakthrough, the greatest breakthrough of your life. Shall we stand? Worship team, please. Now, I've covered 3 main points tonight. Strife, racial prejudice, and problem with authority. If this sermon doesn't speak to you even 1 point, you're not a human being. Or maybe you're not from Penang. Right? Right. Now, this altar call is meant for all of us here. If you feel God has spoken to you in any of these 3 areas, strife, racial prejudice, problem with authority, I want you to come forward tonight. Make it right. If you need to forgive, forgive. You need to ask God for forgiveness, ask God for forgiveness, but make it right. Alright? Before we leave this place tonight. All that I am, all that I have. I said just now that nothing you go through this life is wasted. Did you hear what I said? It's painful. What I went through that 1 year, I was depressed, I became suicidal, I spent a lot of hours at the cemetery. You know, my house in Klang, opposite is a cemetery. So I went there because it's quiet. I want to join the people there. Truly, I went through hell. I went through suicide. That 1 year was really hell. But I tell you what, it do me good. Nothing is wasted. If that young man in the church in India, Bangalore, didn't submit to the authority just for wearing this gold ring, that's his crime, that is his sin. You know, it's too much. It's too much for a young 20-year. We would have called that hunger for God. Wearing your gold ring, and you're excommunicated, you're suspended, you're removed from leadership. You see, it also taught me a lesson that when I become a spiritual leader, I will not do the same mistake as Eli, as my former church, that church or whatever. Now, please don't judge them, because God still used them. We all have strength and weakness. Are you there? Alright? Enough said tonight. I'm going to open this altar call. If by chance this message spoke to you, you know you need to get it right with God and with the people and forgive. Come forward tonight. Strife, racial prejudice, problem with authority. All that I am. I lay him down.